Okay, hello, how's it going? Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how I went from to getting like 41 no's in a row, basically when you're selling something. So I got like 41 no's from potential clients, and then I basically flipped it all around and I basically had like 70% closing rate, which basically means from every 10 people I do the sales presentation to, like 7 people out of 10 were buying my product or service like every single time, right? So we don't have like a lot of time right now. I soon need to jump, but just going to try to do my best to make this like short and sweet. And but right now you probably have two questions like who am I and why should you listen to me? And those are two very good questions. So my name is Tor Efsland, and I'm responsible for some of the most profitable ad campaigns on the planet. I've been featured in a book with like some of the best marketers in the world, like Seth Godin, Chris Brogan, Grant Cardone, and Brian Clark. And even Elon Musk's right-hand man in Tesla, yes, Tesla reached out to me and wanted me to train the marketing team. In addition to that, I've been generating over like 10 million US dollars in sales, but yeah, you don't really care about that. But this is more about you, but just like to kind of give you like the background that I kind of know what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, so this is all about you. So basically, I will be explaining obviously like the story when I went from 41 no's in a row to basically having like 70% sales closing rate. But this not just about kind of like my story. So it's more also kind of like the takeaways and how you literally can. I'm not joking. Like it doesn't matter in your business if you already have a business or you're considering starting a business. Like it does not matter if you like really suck at sales in the beginning, because it's all a mindset thing, right? Obviously you need to take massive action as well. You can't just like sit there and kind of like read the book The Secret and then sit and like kind of like meditate and think positive thoughts. You actually need to do the work and put in the work and basically hone your skills and basically do a lot of sales calls, right, in order to become better at sales. So just to kind of like give you guys like the quick background story here. So this was many years ago. I think this was maybe like 12 or 13 years ago. So long story short, like I basically started working kind of like in a sales organization, and kind of like my mentor, he was like really crap. He was like really, really bad. So like if there were like basically 100 mistakes that I could do, I did them, yeah, all, and some I probably did uh, like several times. Like there was like, I don't really know how to explain this, but it's like imagine like you're in like you're going to do something for the first time in your life, and you're kind of looking at your mentor or your mentors for guidance, but like they're not really telling you how to do it, and even worse, they're like basically teaching you to do it wrong, and you really really want to succeed, but like basically it looks pretty frustrating, right? Because you're not getting the mentorship and the help that you want, right? So long story short, I'm not going to like dive too much into it, but basically like I did 41 sales presentations, and I basically had 41 uh, no's in a row. And I need to be careful here so I don't start crying, because like this was a very emotional time in my life. And so let me just like use some hard data here. This is like statistics, right? So regarding like that type of like sales company, basically uh, when people got like three no's in a row, they quit. Like I'm not joking. Like the average person in that company that got not like not not four or five, and not like 10 or 20, but they got like three no's, three rejections, three no's. They quit, right? So like statistically, I should have quit after I got like my three first no's. but there was like several reasons why I didn't. So one of the reasons was that like I really had like this kind of like strong feeling, like a really big hunger and passion that I wanted to succeed with this. That was kind of like number one. Like I was really all in. Like this was my dream to kind of become like really freaking good as like this specific thing. And number two is that like, and I like, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Like this was freaking brutal. Like if you think like it's hard to start an online business, like this, excuse my French, this shit was freaking brutal. Like almost like no one else has been going through like the the adversity and the challenges that I had in the business. But despite of that, I actually made to kind of make it work. But I do remember when it came to like, I was closing in on like to having like 30, like 30 no's in a row. I was just like thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, like talking to myself, like, oh my gosh, Tor, like you got to be like freaking crazy. This is like totally insanity. And like and I got to be honest, like at that time, it actually looked like pretty impossible for me to succeed with this. And So I basically was able to flip everything around. And like there are many reasons how I managed to do that, but like some of the reasons were that I had kind of like other mentors, like not mentors that I could have like direct communication with, but I was reading a lot of books. I learned from like Zig Ziglar. I was listening to audiobooks by Jim Rohn, um, like Brian Tracy, and all these like really, really like awesome kind of like giants when it comes to personal development, right? And basically what I did, and also like Tony Robbins, and basically what I did, I kind of like got this epiphany, like I was talking to myself and was just like, okay, talking to myself like, okay, Tor, like now you have like 30 no's in a row, like this literally seems impossible. And then I was flipping that, and I was just like, okay, but that's like freaking good thing, because like if this is like freaking impossible, not if, but when I can crack the code on this, I can freaking do anything. I can literally freaking do anything. And this kind of like drove me and basically gave me a lot of motivation to just like never, ever, 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 ever give up. And when I'm kind of decide for something, like I'm pretty insane. So I probably would have gone like 100, maybe 200, 300. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just so determined to succeed that I actually didn't care like what I needed to go through, right? And so this was kind of the thing that motivated me. And addition to that, like, basically, kind of like it's very very hard to explain, and I will break down the takeaways afterwards, but it's very hard to explain like when you're doing something and it's really freaking hard, like it's really hard, it's like exceptionally hard. And it seems like you're kind of like looking out, it's kind of like if you're going to drive your car, right? You have a car, you're going to drive a car, and there's literally like pitch black everywhere you see. You're turning on the lights on your car, but you can only see like basically like a meter or two in front of you, like not fog, but like total darkness. And kind of like my point here is that then it suddenly just like everything shifted, like everything shifted. And which I'm not going to dive too deep into this, because like I could probably have been spending like hours after hours talking about psychology and basically how to increase your sales closing rate. But basically suddenly like everything clicked, like everything clicked. So basically, like I don't like to use the word, but basically I went from a total loser, like no one is a loser, right? Obviously, no one is a loser, but like I literally felt like a loser because I had no results, even though like I was doing a lot of things correct. Like I basically felt like a total loser to basically having like 70% closing rate. And the coolest thing is that basically this was also like I had like the highest closing rate in the company in the world. And if I don't remember like totally wrong. Like there were so many sales reps in this organization. I think, oh my gosh, what is this? I think we had like closer to, was like, and I need to be careful now, so I'm not saying anything wrong, but let me run down. But there were like over 15,000 sales reps, probably way, way more, probably closer to 20,000 or 30,000. It was like huge company, but let's just round down and say among like 15,000 sales reps, I was basically number one in the world. Like, end of story, number one, based on data, right? And this is not really about me, but it's basically the takeaway. So the thing that like whatever kind of like challenge you are going through, it's really all about like kind of like, so let me just move this a little bit. So let's see. Okay, I'll just like make this super small just so kind of we have that there as notes, but basically it's all about, so really what it comes to, so let me kind of show you here. And I, so this is like, and you've probably seen this before, so like I'm really bad at drawing, but like this is basically, um, so you are here, right? You, and there's kind of like your now situation. Like you are here. I'm not going to do like the stick drawing right now, but you understand. You're here, and then basically here we basically have the gap, big pitfall, right? This is the gap, and this is basically where you want to go, right? So this is kind of like future you in your basically obviously future situation, right? Situation. So here you're basically smiling and everything, and you've probably seen this many times. So basically, what you do want to do is like the real thing that we want to do here is the ability to do this. And if you can understand what I'm saying and you can implement it, like you can literally like freaking crush any problem that gets in your way. Like I promise you, if you can really, really understand this, like this works like crazy. So obviously, number one is that you need to have like a big why. Like there's need to be like a very strong reason why you are going to do this. And I see like I soon need to go now, so I need to wrap this up. But you need to have a big why, because it's the why that is the fuel to why you're going to go through all the pain, all the craziness in order to achieve your goal, right? So if your why is not big enough, you're not going to, yeah, go through all the pain and all the torment in order to achieve your goal. Like I'm just telling you. So you need a big why, and then you need to have like good mentors. And if you don't have any, basically get some of the old school people like Jim Rohn and these guys, like just like you can read books and all that kind of stuff, but you need to train your mind. And then you obviously need to take massive action, right? So the thing that most people do when they're getting no's is kind of like, and they're failing, they're kind of starting to freeze up. So they will basically slow down their activity. But what you basically want to do when you're failing, because everyone is failing until they succeed, right? So now I'm like still failing when I'm doing like new stuff. But whenever I'm kind of like feeling and meeting an obstacle, I'm just increasing the output, increasing the massive action. So I'm failing faster, right? And that's basically what it's all about, to really kind of be able to fail faster, and also to kind of like wrap it down to kind of like what kind of like some of the big takeaways for me with being able to like secret takeaways. So for me, it was basically at the end of the day, like I needed to 100% believe in the product or service. Like I needed to freaking like, I'm not joking, I needed to freaking like brainwash myself to firmly 100% believe that this was the best product, the best service in the world. And just like I needed to not kind of fake it, but I needed to believe it, right? Because that's what it all comes down to. It's basically belief, right? And I could also talked about hours for this, but I need to wrap it up now. And then number two, it would be like um, basically word by word sales script. And obviously I'm doing like more ninja stuff now where I don't use any sales scripts anymore, but at that time it was kind of like a word for word sales script, so I could have the same sales presentation every single time. And then it was to, again, like 100% believe that they, the basically potential clients, were the lucky ones if I let them join, right? So this big shift, so there's like belief like two times here, and I do understand that, but like that was kind of like the real kind of like thing here. And it's all about belief, all about mindset when you're doing sales, and also like the most things of like building or scaling a successful business. Like you 100% need to believe in your product and service, like 100%. And if you don't, like you need to improve your service or product until it gets better, so you can 100% believe. And then also when I'm doing like when I did the sales presentations, like I firmly 100% believe that like they were the lucky ones. So no desperation, no begging, no stupidness, no hard ass closing with like using kind of closing phrases, just like having like the real kind of like authority positioning where they're basically feeling that they are the lucky ones if you seem that they can qualify to join them, to join as a customer. So I need to wrap it up now, so I need to stop the video now, but I hope that made sense. And yeah, if you need any help with this, just like let me know, or if you have any questions, just comment below. And yeah, I will give you more awesomeness. And also don't forget to subscribe. I will be creating like daily videos like this. Okay, awesome. Thank you.